we didn't. They purchased this property, so they need to know what the rules are for this property. They can't just put a standard template on it and hope that it all fucking works like it should. So.
Yeah, you're gonna get invoices, but we set up the pay.
Yeah, we set it up. Comes out automatically. That's the only way we can do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. Paul, what? What do you want? What do you want? I'm a grouch ass today.
Less grouchy though.
Yeah.
You got your chai, some food in you.
Yeah. I feel a little less grouchy, but I'm still a grouch ass today. I can still feel the grouch inside of me. Hence the smoking session. Maybe that'll chill me out a little.
See, I got you double edibles this time rather than just one.
The what?
You see, I got you double edibles this time instead of just one.
No, I didn't, but thank you. That's sick.
I got 2 bags of low-dose edibles.
Don't hoo me, dude. You ain't starving. You got your breakfast, and you got half an hour before it's dinner time.
Yeah.
And you can grouse all you want, but you boys keep getting fed early. It ain't happening. Yeah, there's always this like switch over time when you quit with vaping, where like it just doesn't
hit exactly the same.
Yeah. But I think the nicotine you kind of overdose yourself on it a little bit at the beginning. You hit it super hard, but like eventually I feel like it just kind of like settles in, and I feel like I'm hitting that point. There's also like a kind of gross, because it's, there's no tar involved in it.
You're coughing up all the tar. De-tarring your lungs.
Yep. What's up, G? I'm not your G, homie. I'm double fisting it today. That's how this is. Greetings from Satan. Cool. It's okay, homie. Don't worry about it, homie. You were supposed to say, I'm not your homie, buddy. And then I say, I'm not your buddy, dude. And you say, I'm not your dude, friend. And then we go back and forth like that. Are you a monkey? We're all monkeys. Every last one of us is a monkey. I'm not your partner, friend. Do you believe in God? No. You look like Jesus Christ. Jesus was a fat guy? Cool. Indica? Whatever. You look like a chill guy. I try really hard to be. I think my nature is not very chill. But I'm trying to age gracefully. I feel like my nature is pretty bad. You smoked a whole chicken today? Straight to the dome? I mean, that's a little crazy. Do you live in Canada? Yeah. Whatever you say. I live wherever you think I live. If I didn't, then why would I say I live? Chill off the calories. Bro, I'm trying. Don't be so judgmental. Don't be so judgmental. Bro, what is this? We used to call this back in the day sitting and chilling. It's what everybody used to do before everybody became autistic. We call this like kicking back. We used to call this. But then everybody became autistic. And now people go like, what the fuck are we even doing? And it's like, we're kicking back. Super fucking sensitive too. You're right, Cody. Ultra sensitive. Everybody's super sensitive and autistic and politics brained now. And they forgot what it's like to just like kick back a little bit. Chilling, yeah. What did they used to say back in the 90s? In the cut, bro. I'm in the cut. Chilling. Do I like carts? Not really, no. You know what I'm talking about. Posted up in the cut. Steady chilling. Maxing, we used to call it. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, cooling, shooting some b-ball outside of the schooling. What are you smoking on? It's this stuff called herb. Maybe you've heard of it. Yeah, being chillin', dude. Chillaxin'. What else did we used to say back in the day? There used to be other words for it. Hanging. I'm just hanging out. I'm just chilling. See what I mean? No chill. Like I'm sitting here talking about chilling and this dude's like, smoking kills, man. That has no chill. You see what I mean? That's the anti-chill. I got no respect for that. I got zero respect for that. Kamala or Trump. 25 bucks if you answer. Neither. I didn't vote for either of them fucking chumps. What do you think about that? Some of you are chilling. I could tell. And some of you guys are just too fucking... You don't know how to max. Just max. Max out for a minute. I actually need help. It seems like a lot of these people in the chat need help. Dude, I'm sitting here on my back porch in the woods, bro, smoking a doobie. I think I'm doing okay. But I think a lot of you guys seem like you need a little bit of fucking... Naka? Oh, well, shit. I didn't think about it from that angle. I didn't think about nah. Good counter argument, man. Nah, cuh. Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. Spark up a doobie. Spark up a doobie. Calling me cuh. I ain't your cuh, dude. Call me Unc, all right? I'm your superior. You have to take orders from me because I'm your uncle. Right? Get it right. Yeah, I'm your Unc. You call me Unc. Respectfully. Don't call me your cuh. I ain't your cuh, kid. Some of you, I'm probably old enough to be your daddy's daddies. Think about that shit. Maybe not. Maybe not quite. But I'm getting there. Smoking, smoking that blunt. Something like that, yeah. Pardon me. Excuse me while I whip this out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Crash out, boys? Damn, you good? Homie, you ever been around somebody smoking that sweet Chiba before, bro? If you ever been around one motherfucker in your life smoking on that Chiba, coughs do happen. Especially when you're smoking that fucking gas. Shh. Chicken jockey. Unc got the Riz, yeah. I was born with 2 scoops of heart, 2 scoops of Riz, and unfortunately only 3/4 of a scoop of dick. Such is life, you know what I mean? Life is a cruel bitch. That's lesson number 1 that Unc wants to teach you today. That life is a cruel bitch. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. Think about that. Think about that. That's so true. I know. I know. You know, at first, I'll tell you guys some shit. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified. To think that I could ever live without you by my side. You see? But then I spent so many nights thinking about how you did me wrong, and I grew strong. Okay? I learned how to get along. You feel me? I got wisdom on wisdom. You know what I mean? Your friend's being picked on, walk up to the bully and pop him right in the lips and see what happens. Most bullies, I'm gonna let you guys in on some shit. Take this from a bully. Pussies. On the inside, pussies. On the outside, on the inside, don't talk shit. Just walk up and slap him right in the lips and see what he does. Probably start crying, honestly. Who are you, IRL? Who is any of us, IRL? That's the question, right? I don't even think I could answer that if I tried. Most of us aren't even in touch with who we are, let alone capable of just spouting it out in a sentence or a paragraph or two, right? Who are you in the spiritual world? the fuck do you find out who you are, Hunk? You're not gonna like this answer, kid. You're not gonna like this answer. Do you really want the answer to this question? Because you're not gonna like it. It's not gonna help. You're not gonna feel fulfilled by the answer. But I'll give it to you. The only way to figure out who you are is to fail and to be taken advantage of, to be brought low. Because it's only when you're at your lowest that you know your true measure. Are you a person who focuses, or are you a person who folds? And so the answer is you got to live, and you got to live hard, man. You got to go out there, you got to try things, you got to fall up flat on your face, you got to fail, you got to make stupid decisions, you got to have inadvisable fucking associations. You've got to take, various substances that they all told you not to take against the advice of your doctor and the FDA. You've got to do some crazy shit, and you've got to learn a little bit. You're not going to know. You might think you know. See, I remember being fucking brash like teenager and a 20-year-old. You think you know who the fuck you are then. Somebody asks you, I know what I'm about. You haven't even lived yet, homie. That's what being young is sometimes like. You get less confident in shit year by year by year. I get it. Well, that's why I say you make the stupid decisions when you're in your 20s and shit. Because by the time you're my age, those stupid decisions have pretty fucking big consequences and whatnot, and what have you. Any advice on crawling out of depression? Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. I moved out and kind of made the usual 20s mistakes as a teenager. Word. Good for you, bro. Me too. Hallelujah. Oh, shit, got my nose running. Who? My gutter system is intact. That's good to know. Time for inhaler. What? Come on. Come on, youngsters. See? There's a couple of old heads in here, but I'm the oldest old head, okay? I'm certified. Some of these people are lying. Take advantage. I've got life, dude. I'm old enough to have figured it out. I have life figured out. I can answer any fucking question, any philosophical problem, any advice. You know what I mean? I've reached that point of enlightenment where I can just talk about anything. I can give any advice. What that ass do? That's a good question. It depends on the ass, to be honest with you. It really does. Yeah, I ascended. Exactly, dude. I went Super Saiyan. And now I have all the answers. Any advice on how to triple edit in Fortnite? From what I understand, it's involving your pinky. A lot of people, the pinky is hanging out there. You use your keybinds to give an extra keybind to your pinky on your right hand. And that's what all the triple editors do. Now that's some generalized advice, but a lot of it comes down to skill. Do you play Fortnite? Absolutely not. I've just been gaming since before you were a fetus. I know how to pull off this crazy shit. It's always true. Dude, I played video games before Mario came out on the NES. The first video games that I played were on a system called a Commodore 64. My dad was a computer dork, and he had one. I played Defender, Cave of the Word Wizard, Mail Order Monsters, which Pokemon ripped off. I played that shit, all of that shit, before Nintendo was even out, bro. But to answer your question, yes, I played the original Mario on the NES and all of those games. Dude, I'm the game wizard, bro. Like I said, I've been gaming since you... Yes. Yes. I played an Atari 2600. Yes, yes, yes. Go to gym. Suck my dick. Help me get a workout that way. Why don't you come over and blow me? I'll at least get my heart rate up. You know what I'm talking about? Did teachers still have the paddles when you went to school? Nah, but I saw some wild shit that would like be an international incident. There was this kid who was in my first grade class. His name was Dusty. And I think Dusty had the tism pretty bad. Dusty was like always acting out. And I shit you not, dude. My teacher put Dusty in a chair and went and grabbed a jump rope. And I shit you not, she tied Dusty to the chair with a jump rope so that he couldn't move around. Dusty was wild, man. You know, I saw on one hand, I don't blame her, but on the other hand, that shit wouldn't fly today, dude. If somebody tied Dusty up today, there'd be a fucking whole ass. No, there ain't no psych, man. She took a couple of jump ropes, you know, from the bucket or from where they were when you're going out to recess. And she tied his little ass to the chair. And she would do it every day. Yeah, she did a bunch. This one time, Dusty, he came over and he was chilling with me and my friends at lunch. We were in the cafeteria, you know what I mean? It was corn dog day. And Dusty came over, right? And he was like, what would you do if I squeezed this mustard packet right in your face? And I was like, Dusty, I would probably punch you in your face, something like that, right? And he was like, what if I did it twice? He had 2 of these mustard packets, right? And he's like acting like he's gonna squeeze them into my face. Dude, I shit you not. Motherfucker, he squoze them, probably trying to fire them at me. The mustard went right in his eyes, and he went, teacher came running over. What did you do? I was like, he fucking squoze. He did it to himself. All the kids were like, he did it to himself. Dude, that kid had to come back to school and had to have somebody lead him around for a week because his eyes were so irritated from the mustard. That was Dusty, bro. Dusty was a trip. So that's why he got tied up, you know. Cap, I'm just telling you, bro. A lot of people call cap on my stories, man. This is not a new thing. But I'm a firm believer that crazy shit happens to everybody. People just don't remember it. They don't ever talk about it. And so the memory eventually just gets shuffled to the bottom of the pile. I tell my stories, so I remember this shit, you know. I got no reason to cap. Like what good does it do me to make that story up? You know what I mean? Bet Dusty's a cool guy now. Dude, if I was a betting man, I would bet Dusty is dead or in prison. One of the two. Dusty used to do the paper pies on the ceiling. You guys ever do that in school? Where you take some teepee, and you get it wet, or like a paper towel, you get it wet, and you go whack, throw it on the ceiling, and it sticks up there. He used to get everybody in trouble with it because, you know, they thought it was all of us doing it, but it was just Dusty in there doing paper pie assaults. And he would sneak into the girls' bathroom and do it too. And when they finally busted him one day, the teacher came in while he was doing the paper pies, and he tried to escape out the window of the bathroom. He jumped up on the sink to go out the window and broke a sink. And that was the last. Dusty got expelled from school because of that, because he was caught. No, Dusty was like, that's why I say Dusty is probably in prison. Yeah, you could use soap in it to make it stickier, and the poor janitor was having to come and scrape paper pies off the ceiling all goddamn day. You know, and it was all just Dusty. A teacher would not be looking. He'd sneak into the girls' room with like a bunch of paper pies and go throw them on the ceiling and then sneak out. What did Dusty need from a school system? A cattle prod. A cattle prod and my first grade teacher tying his ass up. No, I don't know. He probably needed some sort of special education. He probably needed help like from social services at home too. Typically, when there's a kid like that, there's probably a lot of crazy shit going on at home. At the very least, like neglect or whatever is going on, you know. The parents aren't even really trying to enrich the kid or help him. And you got to keep in mind, though, too, this was back in the 80s, so diagnoses like autism and ADHD and all of that stuff, they just weren't common with kids. And so a lot of that stuff went undiagnosed in children back in the day, probably. So he probably had some shit like that. But Dusty probably had a pretty rough home life to act out like he did at school, because Dusty was like, he had bully energy, but he didn't have the ass to back up being a bully. Like, he wasn't bigger than anybody, and he really wasn't willing to like throw a punch at you. So he was a dude that would try and bully you without actually doing any of the bullying, you know? And so he just didn't have any friends really because of that.
Like I was saying, bully. Like
Bully.
Tell Dino when he's being a bully.
Oh, bully. Yeah.
Dino is more than a bully now, though. He's a cold-blooded killer now.
Yeah. He's a steely-eyed killer, a mole slayer. Hey, Dusty Gordo. We're not talking about you, Dusty. We're talking about a different Dusty. You got banned anyway. They're clipping a lot of you guys. I've seen the movie Requiem for a Dream, yes. That's a pretty rough flick, man. It's a great movie, but it's hard to watch from like 3 different angles, because it's basically like watching 3 people's lives absolutely crater with drugs at the center of it, right? And they all know each other. So and there's no happy ending either. It's all just bad, you know. So it's definitely a tough movie to watch. Dirty Pig. That's a pretty mean one right there. That one deserved a ban. I'm a clean pig. Society didn't see it, educators and parents didn't, because acting out and failing to engage in school. I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So, you know, like he slipped through the cracks that are supposed to not be slipped through, probably. I mean, it was probably easier for kids to do that back in the 80s. But kids were having there was also a more time for teachers to directly intercede and spend time with kids that needed it in the 80s, because I think my first grade classroom had like 12 kids in it or something. Like, it was pretty crazy.
Well, I think class sizes are starting to go down again because enrollment's going down. A lot of parents just kept their kids out of school after COVID.
Maybe. Yeah, they learned how to do the fucking homeschooling or whatever and started doing that, I guess. I don't know. '80s had its ups and downs, good times though. Sure. I mean, from my perspective, which is, you know, admittedly pretty privileged as a kid. My parents were blue collar workers, but in the '80s, that meant that they made a pretty good living. So I grew up pretty upper middle class, had a lot of friends, you know what I mean? Had a lot of freedom as a kid. I feel like I wasn't restricted in the same way that kids are nowadays, even though it was actually functionally more dangerous for kids back then. If you look at the like crime statistics, especially crimes involving children, you know, it was more dangerous back then than it is now for kids to be running around the neighborhood. It was cool to grow up, you know, the entirety of my childhood. I was allowed to be out of my parents' sight on my own recognizance as long as I didn't get in trouble, you know, and came back when I was supposed to. So that was cool, you know. So it's kind of hard for me to make an objective call on it because I was a kid, you know. So it's like it's gonna look pretty rosy through that.
All right, Dave.
Jesus, D.
Fine.
He acts like he's just dying. All right. Let's do this. You want to talk? You gotta touch the poop. It's crazy how much we were outside compared to kids who are never out now. Well, it's one of the reasons that, like, I spend more money than I probably would if I got, like, an apartment that would serve the same, right? The same kind of purpose, is because, like, it is super centering to me to be outdoors and to have a place where I can sit outdoors, because I get fucking crazy stir crazy being indoors all the time. Monkey button, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it was just kind of sad in here, you know. Giving people the opportunity to talk to the wisest man that ever existed in the history of history. And it's nothing but gibberish. Ballroom Blitz is pretty good, yeah. And the man in the back said, everyone attacking, and it turned into a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, well, you want to turn into a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. It's true, Nuggy. Nuggy knows. Nuggy knows for absolutely certain that I know everything about everything, and I am the wisest and most overcome with humility person on the planet of Earth, and maybe any other planet too. I know it all, man. I know all the deep wisdom, all of it. Do I play any musical instruments? I got pretty all right at DJ Hero. You know, played that for a while, and I was all right at it. You know. What's the definition of avenged sevenfold? That means avenged 7 times over. So if you got revenge, like somebody killed your mom, then you killed 7 of their family members. You know. Oh, thank you, baby.
Stupid Minecraft soda.
Oh, is it a Minecraft soda? Chicken jockey. Boo. Boycott McDonald's till they're done with this Minecraft shit. What's the definition of the Backstreet Boys then? I think you know what the definition of the Backstreet Boys is, because you know what happens in the back streets. I don't need to say it out loud. It's right there in the name, man. Have you ever been to the back streets? Hawaiian pizza, yay or nay? Aloha, bitch. Give it to me. You had me at pizza. Is it my favorite pizza? No. Am I gonna bitch about it? No. The back streets are back, I hear. All right. You have Topper's Pizza in your region? I haven't seen one if I do, so probably not. Peanut butter bacon burger sounds bad, tastes amazing. Yeah, I've had peanut butter burgers before. It's definitely not something I would get a bunch of times, but it's not bad. It's just a little too much fucking lard on one burger. You know, it's a lot of fucking fat on one burger. You know, you gotta really be ready for that bomb. You know what I mean, too. You gotta be near a fucking toilet where you can have some privacy if you're gonna eat that fucking peanut butter burger. Because let me tell you, man, that double dose of greasy protein is gonna blow you up, bro. It's gonna be like a wild buffalo for a couple of days, man. That's a lot of oil on a burger right there, dude. That was an oily burger. Culver's, eh. I had Culver's a couple of times, and it was like, eh. Dude, hell fucking no. I'm not going to that place that makes you wear like a fucking nurse's or a fucking hospital gown to serve you burgers and shit.
Oh, you got invited. We were in Vegas, and you're like, nah.
Yeah. I just said straight up, no. That place is retarded. Fuck that place.
Could have eaten free though when we were in Vegas. You're like peaked out on your weight.
That is true. I probably would have gotten my free fucking burger, but
At what cost?
what cost to my dignity? I go there for the spanking, I'm sure. Yeah, I just don't like to be called attention to at a restaurant. Like, I'm there to pig out and not have people judge me.
Didn't TJ say it was kind of mid too?
Yeah, TJ went and he said that he got like a triple bypass one, and he said it was dry, like overdone dry as fuck. And the whole experience was kind of annoying and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, see, fucking told you, dude. Dude, I know a gimmick when I see one, bro. It ain't the fucking good burgers that are bringing people into that place.
It's for the memes.
Yeah, it's for the memes and for the fat asses that can get the free burgers. It's slop that they charge you fucking like extra dodextra markup prices for. So, you know, I can get that in another place and not have a meme of an experience.
Yeah, it's like for the bachelor parties, and they can poke fun at their one fat friend or whatever. And go,
Yeah, it's like where it's fine to make fun of your fat friend, you know, because they're worshipped as royalty. Billy the Fridge almost became the mascot for Heart Attack Grill, and then he had a heart attack, right? Like, that's probably not the mascot they want.
I think they've had mascots that had heart attacks.
Oh. Well, there you go. Would you go to those novelty restaurants where the servers are rude on purpose? I've been to those before. It is what it is to me. I mean, it never comes off as real. Some of them are pretty funny, but like, went to one called Dick's, I think. Dick's Last Resort. It's in San Diego. And it's a place where the waitresses are just real bitchy with you, and they, no matter what you pick, they criticize you for it. And, you know, they're just, that's the whole thing of it. And it was, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't remember the food being all that good. So that, to me, that's paramount, right? If I'm gonna go have a fucking restaurant experience, you can keep the fucking visuals and you can keep the ambiance. Just give me good food. That's why it's like, you know, a ripoff. I don't know if you've ever been to one, but have you ever been to a rainforest cafe
I think I have been to one.
when you were younger or something?
Yeah, like at a zoo or something.
They're a rip. The food in there sucks. It costs $20 more an entree than any other place with that tier of food. And the trade-off is you might get seated next to the animatronic gorilla. You know what I mean? It's just lame.
Well, like, I don't know. Maybe I haven't been, because I don't remember going to a place that had animatronics or anything.
Yeah, it's just like made like a jungle in there, and there's like, you know, animatronic toucans that will move their heads, and there's jungle sounds being piped in from speakers.
No, I think I probably just went to a ripoff, like a discount.
A zoo
rainforest-
restaurant that
yeah,
did it,
zoo
yeah.
Restaurant that
It's fun to go
brought
one
the
time.
aesthetic.
Like, it's fun to have gone one time, but that's all I need. You know what I mean? It's definitely not worth it for the food. Kind of buffet would you open if you had millions? I don't think I'd open a buffet necessarily if I had millions of dollars. Dude, I need $1 billion to make the coolest fucking restaurant ever, but nobody will give me the money. It would make billions of dollars, but, you know.
Maybe you should pitch it on Shark Tank, man.
I'm asking for $100 million for 1% of my company. The pirate experience. we're going to build a giant football stadium, but the only purpose is to fill it up with water so we can float fake pirate boats on it and have a fake pirate show, just like medieval times. But it's like pirate times. And then there's different tiers. So you can pay to be a pleb and sit out in the audience and you join one of the sides for the pirates or the good guy side or whatever. Or you can pay the captain's table and you can sit right on the deck of the boat while the goddamn shit is going down and the cannonballs are flying.
You know what would be better than filling a football stadium with water? A shut down, like, sea life park.
Yeah. You know, you just find like a decommissioned fucking SeaWorld
Yeah.
and license one part of it, at least, with a big tank.
Yeah.
Make a big stadium seating, or keep the, I guess a lot of those Shamu places will probably have that already.
Mm-hmm.
The little shows they do with the animatronics are cool when you're a kid. Yeah, no, they're cool when you're a kid. But like, dude, if you're going there for like an adult experience, it just ain't popping. It's not on and popping. No, I want a full-blown pirate experience, right? Where it's like if you sit in the pleb seats, you've got like pirate winches and peg leg pirate guys serving you, right? And they serve you pirate meals. So it's like, you know, roasted pheasant and fucking, you know, whatever you'd think, a big mug of ale, you know, some potatoes or some shit, right? And keep it cheap because you're eating like a goddamn pirate. You know, give everybody like a turkey leg or something to gnaw on, right? Piratey. And then if you pay for the big captain's feast extravaganza where it's like 125 a head or some shit, right? Then you get better food and you get a fucking boutique experience where you're kind of real close and, you know, maybe you get to partake in the show a little bit. And yeah, it would take about $1 billion because I would want to build it like an LED ceiling that could have, you know, like you've probably seen it. Like, well, I guess Vegas is the place you'd see it now. Mm-hmm. The Sphere, both inside and out, that sort of like curved LED ceiling over it so that you could do weather effects and all of that. You could do a storm, you have a wave machine in there, and some people would be in seats where they get splashed, you know. It's, you got to have the whole, I mean, people would go nuts over that. It would be like, you know, you'd open up in Orlando probably is where I would want to open up. And it would just draw people to that area, right? It would be part of their package experience. They'd come to do Disney, and then one night they'd do Pirate, you know. And you'd make $1 billion with just a couple of locations in strategic areas that are also like super theme park touristy oriented. And they serve it all with a rusty razor. Yeah. If they cut your meat with a scimitar that they're carrying between their teeth. They're going, there you go, matey. Yeah, give them scurvy. I mean, it's part of the experience.
What's that huff?
You could do some wild shit. You could make a ghost ship. You know what I mean? They've got those like hollow projector things now where you can set up like a screen and project on it and it makes it look like a hologram. So you could roll one of those in quietly during an action scene and have a ghost ship show up. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could even have, yeah. You know, you could send a participant to Davy Jones' locker. You know what I mean? That could be an extra special thing that one audience member gets selected for. Like the big pirate captain goes, you, get him over here, you know, and they gaffle you up. You know, you've already signed the waiver. You know, you're willing to walk the plank. Yeah, busty ladies, busty bar wenches, sell you big, giant, frothing mugs of ale. You know what I'm talking about. Have a thing when the ghost ship shows up that, like, it comes and abducts, like, a bunch of ghosts run out into the audience, you know what I mean? They appear from behind and abduct a few people onto the ghost ship. You got the brave, dashing British admiral that's trying to stop the pirates. You've got the Blackbeard character, right? Big, giant, crazy pirate peg leg guy, you know? Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, I would need a guy like Elon that's got like $180 billion, and he's just like, all right, yeah, you're right. This would take $1 billion, but it would be sick. Let's do it, you know? That's what it would take. It's just never going to happen, you know? Freedom. Freedom! Sounds awesome as a ride. Maybe it could be part of a ride, you know? I don't know. Another gay ass idea in the same vein. You could make the wizarding experience restaurant. You get the Harry Potter branding, right? You set up the fucking restaurant like the fucking hall at the you know, the big eating hall at Hogwarts with the fucking candles that are floating and the big pot, like a buffet, right? Everybody gets to get sorted into their house or whatever before they go in. You know, you've got like these little individual rooms, each with a sorting hat animatronic in it that does the sorting and tells you what table you're going to go to. You know, floating candelabras, actors portraying people from the movie, doing magic and wizardry in there. You could have like a whole thing where Voldemort shows up and takes over the proceedings, and the whole hall gets dark, and all the, you know, good wizards are replaced by Death Eaters, and they bring out a bunch of gross food, you know, gross looking but delicious, right? And then, you know, one kid gets to fucking do the wand battle with Voldemort and Expelliarmus, you know what I mean? And Voldemort, psh, ah, and that kid gets, yay, you won, and that house gets to win, and you know, you just rotate through which house wins, so people come back. You know, come on, tell me that wouldn't fucking make $1 billion the first couple of years it was open. It would print money. Dude, I gotta be honest with you, dude. If 10 years later, the only thing that you want to hear me talk about ever is Brett Keane, you may as well just ban yourself. I'm gonna be dead ass. Like, move on. Like, move on. Holy shit, dude. Yeah. I think it might be Oranish's last fucking ride, bro. It's fucking so lame, dude. You guys gotta find something else to talk about once in a blue moon, bro. It's been over 10 years now since Brett was a thing. It's 10 years ago. It's a decade, dude. Do you market a hot tub designed to use a fluid other than water? No. Hey, don't diss on us home-teached millennials. Dude, I don't even remember that, bro. You ain't gotta apologize to me. The sunbeam hitting me right in the forehead right now.